Christmas has come early. Bum, 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 bum. All right. Oh boy. I said I wasn't going to talk about the Acolyte, and here we are. Honestly, the music fits my mood. All right. Yeah, now I want to talk about. Hello, everyone, to the chat. Okay, well, we got a lot to talk about. Um, I okay. Oop, I turned off the music. Okay, well, let me turn off the let me see. Let's get the thumbnail, the subject of our discussion here. Well, we have a lot to talk about regarding everyone's favorite show. I've been gone for this last week, and I had a community post, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that. I was gonna mainly talk about that when I got back, but someone roped me into watching the last episode of The Acolyte, and I didn't watch episode 4. I said I was committed. I was committed to not watching it. I was like, no, I'm done. I'm done. It's not worth it. It turns out I ended up watching this latest episode. It is the best episode of the show so far. But it made me. It kind of. It kind me. It kind of made me think for a second. It kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It made me think of it made me reflect back on the show as a whole. What is the real issue with the show, besides it's unnecessary, it being unnecessary? It 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 just, it has no purpose in the Star Wars mythos. But it got me thinking, what would it be its purpose? Now, I am going to make a full length video on this, like a full length like narration. Maybe I might narrate it, or I might have Sonam narrate it. Well, or maybe we'll work on it together. But I'm thinking back to it now. I'm I think I found the issue with the show. I think I found the issue with the Acolyte. And people will say, "No, you're wrong. The show, how can this show be good? You're just, you can't find anything wrong right with this show. Wrong. It's all wrong." No, I found the ingredients. I know. I know. I know what would make it click. I even know more than the people who made the show. What would make it click? And for thinking about it, I was working today, and I was going over what I was going to talk about on the panel, hell, I was even thinking about, well, how would I do this whole thing? What's the issue with the show? I think the issue is it all boggles down to the writing, the story. The story is not told well. It has the elements that do. It has the elements there that would make it work. The creatives don't want to go that route. They want to. Whoever wrote, like, I think multiple writers worked on the show, but Headland was like the creative oversight of the show. And I think they didn't like look like, do any of these people look back at the writing and say, no, you should do it like this, do it like this. um I am surprised though, give them credit, they knew some things from Legends I didn't know they were going to bring up. And I would say partially those things in this episode inspired me, pretty much got my brain warping like, wow, so someone actually knew something from Star Wars. I'm amazed. And then they went back to breaking the Star Wars mythos lore and whatnot. But let me see what's in the chat here. What up, Christian Terry? How you doing, my friend? We also have Starlight. Yo, what up? Edward AWRV. I definitely want to see your version of the Acolyte, much like you did The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. I'm not gonna probably do it like that. Again, I'm definitely thinking of rewriting the story, but I think I'm gonna do it more like just telling you how I would, rather than doing like a full length movie. I really don't think that could work. Like the Starlight says the Acolyte could have had Darth Tenebris having his Acolyte be sent on missions. I do like that idea. But back to my thoughts on this whole ordeal. Again, this is the tip of my head, so I've been trying to think this all day. I'm not trying to. This is genuine thoughts. But I think it all goes down to the writing of the show and whatnot. Key D Mundi, again, that's another detail that breaks mythos and canon or whatever. People saying, oh, well, you're getting upset about legend detail. It's not canon there, buddy. And then I would say, well, some people revere, like, you can't just come out of your ass and say, that's like saying, well, Yoda was a teenager during this time. But we all know he's over 800 or 800, 900 years old in the by the time he passes away, and he's still the Grand Jedi Counselor of the Jedi Temple. But back to what I was talking about with the Acolyte, it all goes down to the writing. And I think the biggest issues, I'm going to address the biggest issues with the show and how I would do them. We're going to talk about how you would fix that issue. We're going to go through it. First of all, we're going to talk about, I think the big negative is we're going to talk about May and Osha, twins. I think they're the biggest blight on the show, and it has nothing to do with the whole, like, discourse, I think genuinely they're not written well, and they do drag the show down. They don't, they kind of just, they kind of just drive it forward. They don't add anything other than driving it forward. And that kind of pulls back the show because, etc., etc. That being said, May is the Acolyte, as far as I understand. So how would you fix this show? And I think it's quite simple. I would remove. There is no twins. There is only one child, and that is probably May. May is the Acolyte. I would combine the traits of Osha. This ain't no power of two. This is the power of one. It's the power of one, because if you focus so much on the story on one character, it works much better than the twins, the force bond garbage. And I but focusing on May is the acolyte. She's not the focus of the show. Again, we're going to take the focus. How I would fix this show is clearly I talked about this on my first stream. I think the main character of the show should just be Master Soul and his apprentice Jackie. Um, Clearly, I also think that the plot. I think really here's all right. Now we talked earlier. I mentioned the purpose. What's the purpose of the acolyte? Right now it has no purpose other than being some boring ass murder mystery. The true purpose I think the acolyte should do is that it needs to be the entry point into the prequels, like, well, the Phantom Menace, the next 100 years, it leads into that. Again, it's a prequel to the prequels. We know about the High Republic era, et cetera, et cetera. I think this is the end. The events in this show reflect the ending of that era, where the Republic was high and mighty, and then the next 100 years it became more about the politics, the politicians, making deals, controlling the courts and Senate. Before that, everything was prosperous. The Jedi Order weren't, the Jedi Order were themselves. They weren't. They, as we see, they've just become their own agents of the Republic as time gone down by. But with the acolyte is supposed to show Master Soul's investigation makes him realize the Jedi Order is not as he thought he was growing up. He finds out there's manipulation, corruption, this murder, this 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 leads to the truths involving what happened in the past. Which, by the way, I'm going off what I've seen so far of the show. We don't know what really happened. Again, the whole show's not done, but so far I'm just thinking of how I would fix the show right now. The strongest element is Master Soul, and I think he should be the Hercule Poirot. He's investigating. He's somewhat involved in this, because he was friends with Indara. This guy right here, he is the key to the show, because he is kind of, he's the Jedi equivalent to Sherlock Holmes. He's going to figure out, using the Force, who killed Indara. And that's where the main focus on the Acolyte should have been. This should be a murder mystery. The stuff involving the Sith or whatever the hell, the twins, it really should not have been revealed. It comes near at the end. You get the whole story, but the real journey is finding out why. That's the big thing. Finding out why. And that's my idea for saving the Acolyte. Reframe it from being a Jedi Sith. Hold on. Damn. It's loud outside. It's also pretty hot. From turning this from just your average Jedi Sith, Jedi are bad story. Yes, you can use that. The Jedi being bad. That being said, cartoonishly evil, no, that ain't gonna cut it. Master Soul needs to find out the truth. In this show, they're clearly showing that he knew something happened. My idea would be that he wasn't aware of what truly happened and they could reveal this, that he didn't know fully what happened at the Witch Coven, which we'll get to that. I'm just going by off episode 1. But before I continue, let me read the chat. Acolyte contradicts the Plagueis novel in every way. Kind of. I think the Acolyte does more than that. I think if it was written well, it could tie. It could actually tie into the Plagueis novel. It doesn't do that though. They're doing their own lore. They're doing their own lore, which I don't like, and they're breaking mythos. So back to next one. Justin B. Yo, and then BRN Music Now. What up, my man? Hard agree, Edward. What were you agreeing to, my friend? Edward, if you're listening, just tell me what you're agreeing with. I love your Star Wars Revitalized series. Thank you. Looking back on it now, since you guys are here, I probably would have edited The Last Jedi a third time. I think I rewatched I think The Rise of Skywalker is perfect. The Rise of Skywalker Revitalized is perfect. Watching it now, though, The Last Jedi, I think, has issues with pacing. And I think it's my fault because I kind of didn't trim it that well. And it was kind of a messy editing process. Now when I do stuff, I want to try to be like, I don't want to take room. I want to be sharp. You got to make those edits sharp, and you need to keep the audience invested. It's how you make a good story, which Acolyte doesn't seem to want to care about. Having Acolyte focus on Soul, the investigation, using the Force to figure out what's going on. Thank you. Yes. I totally. Justin B says, been subbed for a long time to you. Love your content. I love the last moments with Rey and Luke. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things I worked on, that scene too. But back to talking about how I would fix the Acolyte. So, pretty much, we don't. Here's the thing that I noticed with the show is that the Republic is non-existent in the show. You see, so we need the position again, the murder mystery. We need to use politics again. We need to use politics and how, these are the peacekeepers, the Jedi. We are slowly getting into the age where they're more of front men for the Republic. I'm gonna do like a full separate video on this properly. I'm writing it down, and I'll probably, but I'm giving you my raw thoughts because I'm gonna let you guys know I'm doing a video. I am doing a full video series on this. Maybe I'll cover all episodes, but I have the right it like zinged me. Right now, I'm probably going to wait for episode 6. I'm going to do 3 parts, or how long the hell this show is. But I have a core story of how I would do this, which I'm telling you now. See, I'm telling you now, but I'm doing a video that's more for, blah, blah, blah. So, the focus on the murder mystery, have Jedi Sherlock Holmes and his Padawan. Also have, someone mentioned this in another video that I really liked. I didn't think about this. And I want your guys' thoughts too. So the purpose of Jedi Knight Yord, who a lot of people don't like, especially with that ass haircut. Master, so what would the purpose of Jedi Knight Yord be besides helping Soul in his investigation? I think it would be revenge. Yord is actually the Padawan of Indara, if I did it, and he wants to find the killer. I would say he's kind of the opposite of Soul, where Soul, again, he isn't attached to the Jedi. In fact, I would say he's a lot like Qui-Gon, where he's not as attached, and he has emotions, but he doesn't let that bog him down. Meanwhile, Yord is kind of just angry. He wants, Indara was his teacher, and he can't stand the thought that she died. And that kind of actually puts a hindrance on Soul's investigation, because again, Soul is trying to find out who killed Indara. And which, by the way, pretty much the murder happens after the Republic has Indara save a village from the Trade Federation or pirates employed by the Trade Federation. It's all politics. You need to follow the books, Plagueis. Connect the dots. The Trade Federation they want access to, resources on this planet. The Republic wants it, but they want to they want to like showboat saying, yo, our Jedi, we can, if you want to join the Republic, you can, and give us some of your resources. We're going to protect your village with this awesome Jedi Master who, she's just chilling, and she saves the day in the beginning of the story. And it's during her time in this village that we don't see the killer, but she follows a dark figure. Someone innocent is killed. She follows into the alleyway, and later on, the Republic soldiers, try to follow her. They hear, fighting, and by the time they get to Indara's, where Indara is, they find her covered in blood on the floor, dead. She's dead. Like, not no lightsaber, just brutally killed. And that is where the investigation happens, and Yoda gets he gets the contact, and the Jedi Council discusses the murder. They talk about the eyewitnesses and stuff. Yoda believes that Yoda's the one who actually recommends Master Soul to investigate the murder of Indara because of his connection to Indara, as well as his inquisitive, he's so aware. He's the Jedi Sherlock Holmes. He's the guy you call. It's like, we need you, Soul. And Soul, Soul, who knew Indara the most, is actually curious how she died, along with, his Padawan. And pretty much that's what the first and two episodes are. It's a search into who killed what. Torben dies. I would say, you could combine the first two plots of the episodes into one. Torben gets killed. We don't see the assailant, but we do find out that Soul surmises that he killed himself. For what reason, he doesn't know, but he finds but the poison actually, here's the thing that they don't even like connect, and remind me if the poison from the that Torben is given, he willingly drank poison, is from the same tree of where the witches were. That connects the dots because Soul begins to realize that these murders are connected to this event that happened in the past. Now we're getting into the witch thing. Here's what I would do to fix the witch thing. The witches are not Force witches. They're not involved with the Force whatsoever, but they are corrupt. I think they're not. Again, May is the only child of the leader, who I would say they're more like space nuns in my version. They're like villagers, just space villagers in their own like clan. I wouldn't even say they're all female. It's just an innocent clan village. When the Jedi come, they're there because of the Republic. The Republic, wants to make a deal with the leader to, mine in the area, and they don't want to move. They're making their stand against the Jedi, and the Jedi can't do anything. They can only observe. But Soul is the one who discovers May's abilities. There we go. Soul's the one who discovers May's abilities, and and he does the midichlorian count. She doesn't have a higher count than Anakin, but she does have a pretty decent amount that, Soul is like, oh, all right, well, this girl is quite powerful in the Force. Maybe we should take her, try to convince the villagers to take her. The villagers try to think that the Jedi are up to no good, so to speak. And then, of course, but during this time, I would say from the top of my head, the villagers are also being hassled by another entity. Um, because the villagers live on a very important amount of ore that uh, a company wants to really buy, aliens, and they want to invest and they want to give the villagers wealth if they allow them to. They need it. And here's where I connect it to the Plagueis novel. The the businessman who's interested is a Biff named Rudis Gnome. Rudis Gnome is uh he just Rudis Gnome is, he's kind of interested in, it's a Biff. Again, we don't focus so much on this guy. We just think he's, another greedy alien. That's the thing, is that he keeps appearing in the story for some reason. He keeps appearing in the story for some reason. People don't know who he is, but he is this businessman that's representing, uh, you know, he represents the Trade Federation, et cetera, et cetera. He also represents the immune organization known as Damask Holdings, who they want the resources, they want the ore, but really, um, the villagers don't know why this alien is really like, they don't know, like, they don't know these aliens, why they would be so interested in something that shows so little to the villagers. um but the villagers, as I said, the leaders at least are corrupt, or maybe May's mother's corrupt. you know you could still she could still have mothers. I mean, it's not a big deal. My big deal was the fact that they tried to push the force into that whole thing. You could do what you want, but um this is where the fire happens. The villagers decide to make a vote. They want the republic gone, and they kind of refuse the aliens as well. This is what happens. The Something happens where the whole village catches on fire, and pretty much all the villagers are killed in a pretty brutal fashion. um Master Soul saves May, who, she becomes a Jedi, but she leaves as a Padawan because it just wasn't for her. And she didn't she was too delving too much into the dark side to but there comes a time where May believes that the Republic, or more specifically the Jedi, were involved in burning the village and gaining access to the ore, because the Republic decided to make that whole village a mining anyway, instead of the Damask Holdings. But like, if this isn't, like, it's all screwy right now because it's the top of my head. I'm trying to think how we would fix this. We gotta nip it in the bud. But let me check the I see I like how you mix in legends and canon and revitalized. Thank you. Um, Plagueis would kill those Force witches and try to steal their secrets. I don't think Plagueis should be involved. If he's involved, it would be the last episode of a show. I think the EU narrative was that politics worked almost perfectly until Hago interfered along with Palpatine. Yeah, basically, this is all politics. It's more politics. Even for the Jedi, it's politics, because the Jedi are just following what the Republic wants. They're not trying to steal Osha, because the parents don't want Osha or May, whatever. They don't want one of their kids taken, and they Saul respects that. He tries to push the mother. She's force sensitive. She could have a better life, and well. And then that brings up, the mother's like, well, what do you know is a better life for her? What do you know is a better life, etc., etc. Yeah, Plagueis is too young. Is he the apprentice of Tenebrous? Yeah, I think so. He will. Okay, reading the whole Anakin destroyed the Death Star thing really put me off him before the show. If Leslie is paying attention to the character logic, then all should make sense where Jedi Sith are concerned. We're gonna get to that because I have a good easy fix for our Sith pal, the Smilo Ren. Um, Writing a good murder mystery is relatively using logic, even if Leslie and the writer's coffee have someone. So they don't even, their mystery isn't like even well thought out. Haha, I called the Talosians from Star Trek Space Nuns. There's a rumor that the show is going to make Skywalker connected to the witches. I hate that. I liked her better that she was just a random slave. At least in this story, however, the Disney canon is so you can make it work. Seriously, Justin B, another big L for the show, if so. Yeah, it's a big L. That's a big L if that's true. All right. Let's talk about Smilo Ren. So we talked about the core details. My details will be more like direct when I do the separate video. But here how we would fix Smilo Ren. And here's how they could have fixed this whole thing. He is not a Sith Lord. Kimir, or so let's say let's say Soul finds out that around episode 4 he finds out that May is the killer, or episode 3 he finds out May is the killer. He connects the dots. He thinks she wants revenge for the murder, the village, because Soul doesn't know the full truth. And this is where he goes to Yoda, and Yoda he Soul learns the truth about the village is that Indara tried to the Republic had Indara. So Indara was I would say she was the ringleader of this group of Jedi, but she was actually the one working closely with the Chancellor, because the ore that they were protecting was the ore that you would make. It could be cortosis, but that's for like weapons and stuff. It's not plasma, because that would be Naboo's shtick. It could be just a special. It could be, what could be? It could be like the Maijito metal that was made to make ships. They want like this, like the Republic needs this resource. So they had Indara go to the witches and threaten. Only Master Soul did not know this. They literally had the Jedi threaten the so-called peacekeepers. They threatened. May saw this as a kid. Had Indara threaten her mother's, saying, if it would be a shame if the Republic came and just took all this land and stuff, and you would have nothing. It would be a shame if something like that, just something, something subtle, but it scares the nuns into submission, that they give in. But here's the thing. um you know uh May, the witches were going to, after the Republic left, after the Jedi were about to leave, they all fought that May fought that the Jedi, even Saul thinks that maybe Indara was the one who started the fire and burned down the village. No, it was actually another Jedi. It was another Jedi Padawan, and it was this guy, Smilo Ren. He was actually, he was one of the apprentices that came with them, and he's not a Sith, but he wants to be a Sith. Here's the thing. This is the big thing. He wants to be. Just because he says he's a Sith, Soul says, "Well, you are not a Sith. The Sith are dead." And he's like, "Well, I want to bring back the Sith." He's a fanatic, and he aspires to follow Darth Bane's teachings. But he's not a true Sith. He isn't aware that the Sith are alive. He wants to bring, he's obsessed. He's obsessed with, but he again, he was never, he actually doesn't know who started the fire. No one does. No one knows who started the fire. It was all an accident made, but he used that incident to manipulate May to commit these murders because he wants he wants to bring back the Sith. He wants to bring him back. He's crazy. He's insane. He's like Talon Malicos from Jedi Fallen Order. He's not truly a Sith, but he is a dark force user. I would say a dark Jedi. He only knows the legends of the Sith. He doesn't know the Sith at all. He doesn't know how the Sith works. He's just a dark force user that wants to, he wants to bring it back. And that's where it's revealed that, this is where you can reveal the stuff that, it was actually the Trade Federation that destroyed the village, or Rudis Gnome. He killed, again, they all think the fire could have killed all the nuns. No, it was maybe the Trade Federation or something like that. But maybe the Republic covered it up because they have the Republic works with the Trade Federation. You gotta think of these things. You gotta you have to put some thought into this to tie it all together to make a real good twist. It wasn't this or that, it was this. It's like, whoa, what, really? The Republic covered it up anyway, even though they weren't involved? How would that work? Well, also a big thing is I wouldn't kill the Wookiee. I think they could save the Wookiee. The Wookiee is more of a I would think the Wookiee was he's the one that gets saved, and I do think we gotta stick with what happens. I do think here's the thing. I liked Jackie. I don't know if she would be killed in my version. I think but if he developed her more better, I suppose she could. Yord's definitely gonna get killed in my version, definitely. But back to the story. After that's all revealed, we get to the climax, which I haven't thought up, but it's really more Soul. Soul is having a hard time believing that. Again, the twist was the Jedi Council knew who burned down the village. The Jedi Indara, he's upset that Indara went against the beliefs of the Jedi for the sake of the Republic. He cannot fathom that. But he also cannot fathom. We could fix it that saying that maybe her apprentice was the Smilo Ren. We could fix that issue regarding that. It's kind of like the cause of all this pain and all these murders is is pretty much just a lie. It's all a lie. Peace is a lie. The Sith code. But that brings us to pretty much where I would say Yord dies. Maybe Jackie dies still. That brings us to where it stands with May. I think May should die at the end of this show. In my version too, she would die. I think her purpose is fulfilled. And Mr. Fanatic, the fanatic dark Jedi who wants to bring back the Sith. He's not a Sith. The Sith are still not, I would actually say this too. Um, Sith is never mentioned. The Sith is never mentioned to Saul or anyone. He doesn't say I'm a Sith. But he does mention the Sith stuff to May. He wants to bring, he thinks that uh he even explains to May that, you'll be my rule of two as Darth Bane was. I want to be like Darth Bane. Darth Bane, the stories are magnificent. The Sith were more powerful. We have to do it. Um, Again, it helps to avoid breaking lore, but it also goes to the tragedy of what we will do um, at the end of this so-called. But all right, let's see who's in the chat. Yo, what's up, Infantry Inc? Sir, Smilo Ren is probably like Darth Maul. Sith assassin, but not the apprentice. The thing is, with Darth Maul, it was always planned. His appearance to Qui Gon, that was the cement in Legends. That was always planned to be the the that see in Legends it was always planned by Plagueis and Sidious. I like this one. I like this thing too. Is where they planned, the appearance of Qui Gon. It was all premeditated. It wasn't just, go get the girl. They knew he was going to appear to Qui Gon. They knew the Jedi Council was going to talk about it. It's kind of just like, all right, we're back, but we're not fully back, but we're back, and people know. That's kind of the thing with Darth Maul. He was a Sith assassin. With Smilo, it's clear. I would be again. He's like Talon Malikos, where uh the Jedi especially like Saul, he knows he's not a Sith. Like he just they just think of him as a dark warrior. Well, they fought the same as Darth Maul. The thing is, I think they all knew Darth Maul was a Sith because he was heavily involved in this whole ordeal. It was all premeditated. And someone, where's the master to this? Who's the master? All right, let me go back. Let me read some more. That's definitely a better idea. I guess that's what I'm thinking too. Something along this line. A Sith fanatic is actually what I think when I think of an acolyte, but yes, not an actual Sith. I like Jackie's character best out of everyone. I like Jackie too. Would Darth Tenebrous fight Darth Teeth? We'll get to that in a second. Is anyone here backing that Haslev Mos Eisley Cantina? I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, I don't really buy toys that much. I'm not a collector. If I had more money, I would, but you know how it is. uh, I mean, does anyone collect toys on here? I mean, I don't know. But back to what I was talking about with Smilo Ren. Yeah, it's revealed that he's a fanatic, and he's pretty much manipulating May to commit these murders. Let's go back to Master Soul. Let's get a good thing of Soul. So let's imagine that Smilo Ren kills the Jedi Padawans. Um, let's just imagine that it pretty much it kind of goes it kind of goes how it was. Maybe kind of the Wookiee survives, but he's killed in combat with Smilo. That brings us to what I would do. You know, we haven't seen the outcome of this show, but right now I'm leaning to I think Master Saul should survive the show. I think May should I think May would die, or Osha, or where the hell her name is. And but I think that, you know, we're getting to this is you know, that might be a good stopping point for, you know, talking about because I'm curious what they're gonna do. If they're gonna do what I think they're gonna do, I'm gonna like right now. There's a good ending to this where I think Master Saul would survive, but he would leave the Jedi Order because he knows the Jedi Order now are just yes men for the Republic. They've become more of the bot, you know, the hustle for the Republic, and they will for 100 years till, you know, it's just the first. It's the first of the downfall. It's the first inklings of a downfall that will come. Maybe not now, but eventually. The Sith, I would think the Jedi Council would disregard, you know, they would definitely disregard Smilo Ren as just a fanatic or an ex, you know, just a Jedi dabbling in Force user. You know, maybe a Sith, maybe like the possibility of the Sith is mentioned, but, you know, Smilo, what if we they assume Smilo dies at the end if there's a final duel or something like that? You know, I would think Smilo would kill May. That's me. Um, and Master Saul doesn't reveal fully what Smilo told him during their fight because, you know, he feels like the Jedi have set their fate in within the Order, so to speak. Um, but that brings us to what I would think is the ending bullying point of this is that pretty much after Smilo Ren, you know, he escapes. Well, let's say he survives the final duel. I would think that Smilo Ren would actually encounter. Again, we mentioned the businessman Rudis Gnome from the Trade Federation. You know, he's kind of like their lawyer, but he was there when the village burned down. He was there when the Republic was there. He was just there. He was the Biff, but no one really gave it heed because he's a Biff. It's revealed that, you know, Rudis Gnome is Darth Tenebris, and he was actually interested. He was invested in this whole ordeal led by Kimmer. Like, I'm interested. Like, I'm interested in you, you, you desire to see a true Sith, do you? But, you know, he realizes that Chimere, as interesting as his, you know, stuff was, it was too open. He could ruin the Sith grand plan. It will take years to fruition. He would be a liability even if he was to become his apprentice. So that's where you could bring in Plagueis, a young Plagueis, or Tenebris could just kill. He kills Chimere, and he pretty much kills the only thing. You could even say that Tenebris. You could even have Tenebris orchestrate the death of Master Saul. It's a tragedy, you know. But it's a tragedy. It's a final. You know, he leaves the Jedi Order, but he still gets killed. He gets killed through the but I wouldn't really do that. I wouldn't kill him. The fact that he withholds the information from the Jedi, he kind of wants them just to. He's done with them. He's done. But if it has to be done, it has to be done. Tenebris could just, you know, he removes all the evidence, all the murders and stuff. That it was just it could just be relegated to someone was again, someone had a plot against the Jedi. They were criminals, pirates, whatnot. No one would know that the Sith, that Darth Tenebris, or the dark forces that be, the Jedi assumed was just a fanatic who was obsessed with the dark side, was actually the Sith was involved with this whole thing with May. It would blow people's minds away that the Sith was there the whole time. And maybe they're doing this. Maybe the Sith is here in the show. I wouldn't give them that credit. Come on. There is no way. I remember some fake leaker on like Theory's Discord said that Plagueis was going to appear in episode 5. Yeah, we all saw how that turned out. What if Kimir is Plagueis? That would trigger so many people. That would. Let me read some of the chat here. Sorry, it's not about the Acolyte. Just curious. No, this can't be fixed. There is confusion. Oh, it could be fixed, Shrek. I think it could be fixed. Could it be fixed? I don't know. People said the sequel trilogy can be fixed, and I did a rewrite that everyone seemed to be satisfied with. A lot of people also say, they like Prism's rewrite. I have some things with Prism on that whole thing, but he's also doing a rewrite of Kenobi, which I find commendable. We're also working on something with Kenobi. Maybe we might do a Kenobi Revitalized, or we just might call it the original ideas. But it's not really original because it's just like ideas that you construe into a plot and say, oh, well, this is originally how it's going to be. No, it isn't. Is it? Bleh. I would rewrite the series to take place during the Old Republic and be about a Padawan who left the Jedi Order and was taken up by the Sith. That could work for just a different story. See, I'll reframe this how I say it. If for those of you who are tuning in, here's how the purpose of this show. What would the purpose be of the Acolyte? I would simply say that the Acolyte is representing the end of the High Republic era and going into the prequels. Because the Jedi are becoming more dogmatic. Also, they're becoming more involved with the Republic. The Republic is expanding. It's the time of the High Republic where it's peace and stuff. It's now becoming more of the politics and stuff that you would see for the next 100 years. And if you ever read Plagueis, a lot of the Senate was even though there was peace, there was a lot of corrupt senators that were running things. They were working with Hugo Damask, who Plagueis was working with a lot of those senators to manipulate events. That's what he's been doing with Tenebris for years. And we could say that the Acolyte was the beginning. Master Saul, he realized what the Jedi were becoming. With, if Indara was the one behind it, or she was just, threatening people and, working, the Jedi just becoming yes men for the Republic, and also becoming kind of like thugs, the very thugs they take down. That's kind of that would be the tragedy of the Acolyte. But it's not that. It's just some generic mystery show that has some good fights, I guess. Let me read. What's wrong with Prism rewrite? What's wrong with Prism rewrite? Like, the writing's not bad. It's just the execution. I have a disdain, like, nothing against the guy, but I really think he shouldn't just be doing AI. I think I would just I would have another person do the narration and have voice actors, or better yet, use editing skills to like transstrue. And I'm not fully against AI. Like Stable Diffusion, I've used AI before. But just like generating generic characters, just going on Mid-Journey to create a scenario with AI voice, the writing's there. I know the writing, he writes his stuff. It's the execution. Nothing against the guy. But, you could totally you could totally be bettered by just using another medium to storytell. You know, people, I think, here's the thing I think people are afraid to do. They're afraid to actually ask someone if they want to voice act. There's this, so if people are on here, look up this one movie called Dinosaur Hunters, okay? It's Dinosaur Hunters. In fact, I'll bring up the movie right now. Um, Totally off topic, but I really want to talk about Dinosaur Hunters. This guy, all he did was take footage of movies and cobble them together to make a narrative. He made a narrative feature. It's like Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger go to Jurassic Park with Rambo. I don't know. I love this. I love this movie, even though it's kind of confusing at times because it's just, footage cobbled together. Again, give this movie a watch. But here, this guy, he voices all the characters and he does impressions of the actors. And sometimes some impressions are better, but I think it's more like it gives it more soul than just going on 11 Labs and making it.
Relax. Aren't you overreacting over a reptile? Don't hurt him, you'll piss off his big brothers.
His Arnold isn't as good as his Bruce Willis, but it's like it's one guy, and he did it with no budget, from what I hear. You see, you could get someone who actually sounds like Arnold, and you just ask. People like to be asked. Voice actors like to be asked. All right, that's back on that. But that's why, if you have issues at Prism. But I like his writing. Don't get me wrong. You should call it Old Man Ben. You like AI generation on it. She has the right to love it, but I really like Catherine LaSalle reaction, episode 5. Yeah, Plagueis gotta be immune, Tenebris, Abyss. Yes, I agree. Yeah, the Acolyte, I don't know. I'm also thinking I'm going to address this. I did a discussion about it. I think the hate for this show, it's not a good show. And I'm tired of talking about it. Or actually, I don't talk about I've been trying to avoid talking about it because of the whole thing. It's not my thing. It's not my, I'm a Star Wars YouTube creator. I mean, that's safe to say. I mean, I do some other stuff sometimes, but I think the big thing with the Acolyte, I think the hatred for it's on both sides of the aisle with this show. I personally think that there is too, I think the hatred, while justified, I think people are going too personal against people. I think some of the name calling, some of the threats are out of line, regardless of what side. I don't care if you make a threat to someone, you're a loser. And someone said, that's just a bully. Why are you saying they're like bullies? They are bullies. Why are you an idiot? They are bullies. If someone says, go die in a hole, it's like, all right, well, same to you, man. I'm not going to die in a hole. Are you? But some people react differently to that. Some people react differently. They react strongly. However, with the threats and, from both sides, I think there is a angle with this show from some other people, and it's not, you could say it's a bad show, whatnot. I think there are people that are liking this show. No. They're pretending to like this show just so they can be on one side of the aisle, or they're pretending to hate this show because they're more so on the liking side. Because people trying to meme the show and trying to say, yeah, it's good, yeah, I love Yord Horde memes or something. I think those people are apologists. And what's an apologist, you might ask? I think apologist is a sad person who, will defend a property regardless of its quality. I think they'll apologize to the company. They won't apologize to you. They'll say, "Oh, they'll be your mouth. They'll try to be your mouth and say, "Oh, well, this person, we're sorry for we're sorry, man. This is great stuff. I'm sorry. I love Star Wars." I hate apologists so much. And I hate when people lecture other people on what they can or cannot like. I don't give a damn if you don't like my takes on stuff. I don't give a damn if you like this show. I don't give a damn if you hate this show. It's your opinion. You have an opinion. But don't go around saying, "Oh, well, how could you not like this stuff? How could you not like it? This is new. This is new." You know, it's like a dog. It's like maybe you don't like creativity, do you? You don't like creativity. You're just a sad person. I hate those people. I hate those people most of all. Same with people that hate the show, saying, "Oh, how could you hate this show? It's good." Or no, it's "How could you like this show?" Uh, just people. There's also, the standard, "Oh, if you don't like the show, you're a bigot." Blah blah blah. I don't know. I've heard it before. Is people. I hate people should be genuine. They should accept other people's opinions, but they also should be genuine about their praise or criticism. Because if you're just gonna say, "Oh, I love it," be a contrarian, then say why you love it. Like why? What's wrong? Like what's right? What do you like about it? Don't just say, try to make memes and then say, "Oh, well, because the guy who's hating it, he's just a grifter. He's just a grifter." Come on, everyone in this chat knows that's, people hate people like that. And sorry, I just had to get that off my chest because I think a lot of people are just acting like assholes. Uh, I've seen. Listen, people were trying to dog on. Yeah, I won't. I won't. No, no, no. I'm not gonna go there. I'll just say that both people were saying death threats and saying we should behead each other, and I'm like, what the fuck? This is just Star Wars. This is just like fake stuff you to watch. This is this is you're wanting to behead someone. Bah. Some people are crazy. All right, interesting. Justin B. The hatred is justified, but there are always going to be the unhinged weirdos. Yes, of course. There are people who are co-opting a fake fandom. The further grift, yeah, it's a fake like. I also think this. I think if you just praise the show and give it a 10 out of 10 and say, "Oh, what's wrong with you? Oh, you're just bigot or something," or "Oh, this show. What's wrong with this show? Oh, you're getting sad that Kia D Mundi's in here. What's wrong, man? It's not canon." I say this to you. I say this to you. Um, why are you getting upset about someone else's opinion on something? Just why should we care? The same with people hating it. Why, if you don't like it, stop watching it. I stopped watching it for a time. I didn't watch episode 4. I stopped after 3. And then someone decided to show me episode 5, and now I'm making this video. That's what I'm trying to tell people. It's like, for me, it's an orbit. I always come back to this show for some reason. I always thought that was Mr. Lumpy. it's I don't I don't think people need to be lectured on what they can or cannot like. So, without spoilers, did I like episode 5? I thought it was okay. I give it a 5, 6. I think the writing's horrible though. Whew. The writing is bad in this show. That's my biggest issue with the show. People can complain about the little things. Well, breaking Star Wars mythos is a big thing for me, which it does, and which is why I give it a 5. If it wasn't for that, I would give it a 6, maybe a 7. No, it's a 6. Uh, the the I would say everything after the battle when people talk is so stupid. The dialogue in the show is so bad. It's just someone doesn't know how to write when people speak. And I'll say this, for all those years of people dogging on George Lucas or the prequels, so you know how he did the old style way of dialogue and direction where it's just people talking among, people, master, direct, it feels like directionless. I would rather watch the prequels dialogue, the scenes with Padme and Anakin over anything what the character. Another thing of why I hate the show is that, again, it's the twins. It's Osha. She's such a hapless protagonist. She just stands there. It's like something has to happen to her to move the plot forward. Something has to happen. They hire activists, not writers. What did you expect? Yeah, with this show, I kind of feel that way. Though I will give them credit, they knew about the cortosis. I don't think anyone knew. They should have mentioned it though, because some people were kind of confused by that. I don't know if that was a Leslie thing or maybe some writer was like, "Hey, do you know about cortosis?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "It makes lightsabers short. Sure now. Sure now." Hold on. Small boy. I already read these. I already read some of this. Um, I'm, but yeah, I think for the most part, this will be my this will be my last stream talking about the Acolyte. This will be my last stream talking about the Acolyte. Uh, if I watch any more, I'll give my thoughts maybe on a Battlefront stream. If I watch any more, I'm tempted to just stop watching. I'm tempted because the show has broken me a little bit. Will you be playing some Hunters? Yes, I will play some Hunters again soon. Again, I'm back. I've been gone all week. I also need to make some videos. Plagueis is still on its way. Plagueis is still on its way. It'll take some time, but it Plagueis will be on its way. I'm trying to think what else is coming out. We got another What If coming out soon. We need. I was waiting for my co-writer. He's on vacation, but he'll be coming back soon. And we're also working on that secret project I mentioned. Let me see here. I mentioned a project that people have long requested is in the works. I did post a teaser. People wondering what it is about. Again, people have asked me about doing this one for a while. Are you going to do a backstory on how Plagueis survived and how Rey was created? No. No, I'm not. Again, I would stay tuned. It's in the works though. This project, you could probably guess or keep guessing, I guess, what it's going to be about. I'm also working on. No, I think we covered it all. I might do a DC project sometime. How does that sound? A DC project? Might take a break from Star Wars and do some Batman. We have done Batman episodes recently. Um, there's a new Batman show I might talk about. Um, but yeah, that would be sick. Yeah. Again, you can watch this. You can watch the Batman Adventures continues on the. It's on the channel now. The next few episodes should be coming soon. Uh, yeah, have a look out. Again, Batman fans. Um, but I think that's I think now that I got it out of my system, another sequel trilogy rewrite or Jedi New Jedi. I'm I don't think Rey's New Jedi Order needs to be done. Um, Starlight. Yeah, I don't think it. That's actually no. I'm not doing the. I'm not. I'm not interested in doing. I'm not interested in doing. What you call it. The new Jedi Order. I don't think that needs to come out. I don't know why we're getting a new Rey movie. It's definitely, it's definitely one of those things. Um, but yeah, I might do. Forget I said Rey's new Jedi Order. See, I'm losing my words. But I want to thank everyone for joining me for this little discussion. Starlight, Justin B, Oliver, Meister Drake, Bleeding Edge Studio, Edward, Small Boy, Emil, Shrek, LOL, no. Anything could be fixed. By the way, Shrek, just to tell you about that. Benjamin Dobalina, Starlight, Infantry Inc., what up, my man? Justin B, uh, B Art Entertainment Music Now, what up? And Christian Terry. Are those saucers? Is this yeah, it's an AI image, I think. It's like Fortnite deep faked. It's like Ahsoka deep faked on the Fortnite model. But is that a different character? That's Mara Jade right there. Hold on. I'm pulling up weird images and okay. Now these are AI images. Back to that. All right. So, as I said, we'll talk about if I'm convinced, we will talk more about the Acolyte. If I but again, I was kind of committed to not watching it anymore cuz I don't want to keep it like I don't want to keep complaining about it. Does anyone else in the chat think it's tiresome to complain about something? Everyone else is doing it. I'll let everyone else do it. Speak for me. Speak for me. But I kind of wanted to just give my thoughts on what I would do. I might do like a real video with narration of like each of it, but you guys got the rough points and you kind of agree with, needs to be a murder mystery. Master Soul just needs to be the main character. Um uh you know, Kimir doesn't need to be a Sith. He can be a fanatic that wants to bring back the Sith, but he's not truly a Sith. No one in the right mind would think that. Um, you know, have the trade for have the politics more heavily involved in the show. Yeah, it's George Lucas, the creator of Mara Jade, the quality Acolyte, my Fortnite skills. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's tiresome. I just want good Star Wars content. I honestly, I don't know what they're doing with Star Wars nowadays. It's best just to keep in keep just keep in line right now. Just keep in line. Line. But again, thank y'all for coming. This was just this is kind of like an editorial or discussion stream. So goodbye, everyone. See ya.